What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So San Diego Comic-Con 2025 is officially over and in the books, and I've been seeing a lot of interesting reactions on behalf of the community over the last couple days. But in terms of Funko, I wanted to answer the question, was San Diego Comic-Con a failure on behalf of what Funko put out? Now, here's the thing, we don't know how many of each item that Funko sold out the booth in terms of their con-stickered items, with the exception of the limited pieces. We know exactly how many there were because they told us up front how many were made for each one of the limited pieces. Same goes with the shared exclusives that they dropped on their website, which we're about to take a look at here in a quick minute. We don't know how many of each unit that they produce. They do not provide us as customers and collectors with that information. Funko could still be producing upwards of 50 or 60,000 of each shared item that they have for San Diego Comic-Con. But before we answer that question, let's head on over to the website really quick and give you guys a quick recap of what did sell out and what is still available. And this is going to give us some good insight as to what items were sought after and obviously which items were not as sought after. But you have to remember, we still don't know how many of each item that Funko made. So heading on over to the website, and just to give you a brief little recap of our live stream, because we did go live this past Thursday morning for the drop on Funko's website. Surprisingly, the bundle sold out in about a minute, which was crazy. So they upped the bundle from $615 to $665, yet that didn't stop people from buying it. We do not know how many bundles they made. They could have made 5 bundles. They could have made 100 bundles. There could have been 1,000 bundles. We do not have that information. However, I don't think there was that many, because with this bundle, and the pure reason as to why I believe it sold so quickly is because there were 4 limited pieces included in this bundle, which was 100% the driving factor behind the people who purchased this and as to why it sold out so quickly. The Batman and Robin original blueprint pops were included, as well as a mystery Huckleberry Hound and the 2,000 piece glitter Huckleberry Hound. So without those limited pieces, I think that bundle might still be available on the website. Moving on, as far as the biddies goes, all of the biddy multi-packs here are still up for grabs. I have a feeling they probably made 100,000 of each of the biddy packs here. I think they're easy money grabs for Funko, and biddies are doing very well right now, and they are doing the big push for the Biddy City. We had the land starter pack here with the super cute little Mayor Freddy that you get, and then we also had the not talking about Big Bong just yet. We had the Road Starter kit here with the Fire Captain Franny. Okay, there we go. Not sure why I wasn't opening, but here we go. Fire Captain Franny. I think this would have been so cool to get as a regular 4-inch exclusive pop, but they decided to put her in the Road Starter kit. And then we had the Fun Force 4-pack, which, like I said, I'm sure they made a ton of them. And then same goes with the Fantastic Four. With the Fantastic Four movie releasing this past weekend, I'm sure these were very popular and they sold out quite a few of them. So I have no doubt that they made quite a bit. Now moving on to some of the regular 4-inch pops that did sell out. The Blueprint Batman did sell out pretty quickly here on the website, and I'm sure it sold very well at the con in person. This one was a little bit of a shock to me. So this sold out on the website, the Kingdom Come Batman. Now this one is super cool, and I actually wasn't able to pick it up before it sold out. So we kind of had like a repeat as to what happened from last year when I missed the Batman Superman Fusion pop. But Batman continues to be a very popular character amongst collectors. I am surprised that this one sold out, but then again, if people weren't able to get the clamshell limited piece or the blueprint limited piece, then this was your next best option and only option in terms of Batman. There was a lot of hype for Bing Bong, but he did not sell out. Shadow's still available. Dazzler still available. Gambit's still available. Herbie, seemed like there was a lot of demand for Herbie over the weekend, but once again, I think that's something that Funko anticipated, and I'm sure there's a lot of Herbies that they made. Next piece that did sell out was the glitter 2,000 piece Huckleberry Hound. This one sold out very shortly after the mystery Huckleberry Hound sold out, so we'll get to those in just a minute. A lot of people were surprised that the Jorgen Von Strangle and Tooth Fairy 2-pack from Fairly OddParents did not sell out. These are two niche minor characters from the Fairly OddParents line, although I do consider this a con-worthy pop, and I don't think we'll ever see these two characters in pop form again. I am not surprised that it's still available, just because I'm sure they made a ton. This one, I am surprised, sold out. The Jumbo Ante from Pokemon, but then again, Pokemon collectors are pretty hardcore, and they are completionists for the most part. You know, gotta catch them all. So I was surprised to see this one sell out, even at that higher price point of $45. But then again, this could have been one that they didn't make as many of them, just because simply it was a larger piece, or they could have just made a ton, and there's a lot of Pokemon fans out there. Kirami's still available. This giant Naruto Sasuke moment sold out, which I was pretty surprised about. Now, pretty crazy. This one was $35, and then the 10-inch that we just looked at was $45. I think if this one was $40 or at that $45 price mark, it would not have sold out. I think $35 is actually pretty fair for this massive pop. And I also saw some people shine a black light or a UV light on this, and the glow is pretty crazy with the UV light. It doesn't glow on its own, but the translucent purple glow that it has when you flash the light up against it is pretty cool. Tengen and his wives still available. The Huckleberry Hound mystery, of course, this one did sell out. A lot of people were having a lot of fun over the weekend ripping their Huckleberry Hounds. I cannot wait until we get ours in hand, and as soon as we do, I will be jumping on screen to rip those for a video. The Naruto Uzumaki with the cat ears, that one is still available. Another one that I was pretty surprised about. So this one sold out Saturday, I believe. We have the Onslaught pop. Now, this was originally rumored to be 5,000 pieces. Would have been cool if it was 5,000 pieces. However, it ended up selling out just as a regular shared exclusive anyway. We've never seen this character before in pop form, so that could be a driving factor as to why it sold out. Also, amongst the Marvel pops that we got, this was probably the most unique. And, you know, Dazzler and Gambit and Spider-Man are still available. So people who collect Marvel definitely chose to grab that one. Pingu, despite all the hype that had, that one is still available. Surprisingly enough, the premium SpongeBob cleaning pop sold out. And I say surprisingly because I would have expected this to sell out at $15, but I was worried that $5 extra price bump was going to deter a lot of people from grabbing this. It's in the larger box, with it being a pop premium, but it didn't matter. The hype and demand for SpongeBob was pretty strong, and that one sold out. I was surprised this one didn't sell out from all the One Piece fans. Everybody loves the ships, but maybe Nico here is just not as of popular character as I would have expected. I just thought with it being a deluxe instead of a pop ride, coming in at that $30 mark, this was a sure sellout. But once again, maybe they just made a ton of these. I saw a lot of people throwing down for the con sticker, so maybe once all the con stickers disappear from the aftermarket, then people will start going after the shared sticker. Tank Girl didn't sell out. I'm not surprised there. Then we have the Blueprint Robin, 2010 pieces. This one sold out shortly after the Blueprint Batman. Sam Manson did not sell out. I am not surprised there. I feel like she's another very niche character. Then we have Sensational Spider-Man and Stitch. Stitch and Spider-Man are just two money makers for a company like Funko, so once again, I'm sure they made a ton of those. Then we have a bunch of the Loungefly bags. I think all of them are still available. The Hello Kitty and Friends pin, actually all the pins sold out. This one was limited to 800 pieces, so sold out pretty quickly at that $20 mark. And then we have the One Piece Going Merry pin. This one was limited to 700 pieces. You got to keep in mind, we don't know how many they actually loaded up on the Loungefly website because they did have to sell some in person. This one sold out yesterday. The One Piece Going Merry lanyard, and then the Stitch, the Hula Stitch pin here. This was limited to 800 pieces. This one also sold out. And then we had a couple more items, but I think we hit all the sold out items. So that is everything that is currently available and is what sold out on Funko's website over the weekend. And I saw some people saying that because Funko didn't sell out all of their items online, that San Diego Comic-Con was technically a failure for them. And I would just like to break this down really quickly. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, we don't know how many units of each item that they produced. From what I do know, based on pictures and video and people's testimonies and actual real-life experiences, that San Diego Comic-Con and the line at the Funko booth was packed. You also saw all those people who purchased those items then immediately go to apps like Whatnot, Encore, Mercari, eBay. You saw all the stuff popping up. So those are confirmed sales that Funko made. in regards to the items that they didn't sell on the website, like I was going through them just now, there were some that I'm not surprised are still there. I think overall this con catalog was better than last year, but I do think there was a lot of room for improvement, and I did see that there was some pops that people just weren't excited for. And if they're not excited for something, that is going to turn into a lost sale. People are not going to buy something for just for hype for the most part. They're going to buy something because they're excited for it. Now, there are going to be people who buy something just because there's overall hype and they just want to get in on the action and everything. But I think you're going to see more of those sales happen in person, as compared to online for the people that are at home. Now, in terms of the numbers that Funko produced, every year I do hope that they're sitting back and taking a look and doing an after action report and looking at what didn't sell and trying to figure out, okay, why did this not sell out? Why did we not sell all the items that we produced? Now, keep in mind, they're going to keep these items up on their website until they do sell out. And that's when we see the, Black Friday sales and occasional sales and, all the promotions that they do throughout the year. I think an item is truly a failure when you're 3 to 6 months out and it hasn't sold out yet. So when you're moving on to the next con, so our next big con is New York Comic Con, if some of these items are still available by New York Comic Con, then clearly people don't want that character, or there just isn't enough demand for that item, because by that time people will have plenty of opportunity to either have picked it up at full price or bought it on sale or use the reward points or, find some other means to add it to their collection. So that's when I would start slipping into, okay, these items were really kind of on the side of being a failure for being chosen and specifically curated as a Comic-Con exclusive. And I would hope that if Funko looks at the Nickelodeon line, for example, and sees that, okay, SpongeBob sold out, but Sam Manson and the Fairly Odd Parents 2-pack didn't sell out, they take that information and then next year they curate the catalog again and they say, well, there wasn't as much demand as we thought for the Nickelodeon characters, so if we do make more Nickelodeon characters, instead of making 40,000 of the characters that we were planning on like we did last year, we're only going to make 30,000 or 25,000, just because I do think it benefits Funko and any company for the most part that when they drop the items during a big event like San Diego Comic-Con, that they do sell out either as the event is ending or of course before the event is ending, because the more stuff that sells out, that's just more success, more progress, and more affirmation that they chose the right items to put up for a big event like San Diego Comic-Con, like New York Comic-Con, and that they met the demand, and maybe there's even more demand that people will go to Funko's website and they'll be like, oh man, that SpongeBob pop I wanted, or that Fairly Odd Parents 2-pack that I wanted pop is gone. Well, they're on your website. They are traffic that Funko has brought to their website, or any company has brought to their website. They might buy something else in that theme, and that's where I think Funko really needs to capitalize on that mindset. Like, all right, we need to make enough stuff that's going to sell out, but if these people are coming over because they want something from that line or that theme or that character, that we have other common stuff more readily available that they might purchase because they missed out on something that did sell out. Also, it would behoove Funko to also get their stuff sold out as possible, because that would encourage more online traffic the first day of the drop, and you're going to be seeing things sell out fast, and then once again you're going to have more people going through the website, and then year over year, con over con, people are going to get that in their head, like, I got to be at the website day one, minute one for the drop because I'm going to miss out on these items. Another avenue that I think would really benefit Funko in terms of their Comic-Con strategy, and this is something that I've been thinking about for the last few days. This year, I think they did a good job of allowing the people at home to have an opportunity to pick up limited pieces. This is something that we've typically not seen in years past, and I think that added some more hype. A lot of people cannot attend San Diego Comic-Con because of the cost, because of the travel time, just because they can't take time off of work, even if they have, vacation days or if they have the finances and everything, like, they just might simply have family obligations to where, like, I can't go to a Comic-Con for 4 or 5 days because I have family, I have kids, I have pets, I have other responsibilities that, dictate my time more than trying to go out and get a Funko Pop for my collection. So that's where I think Funko needs to explore a different strategy per se for their con catalogs. They've typically done the same thing for many years now, but I think they need to move into a new strategy where they actually release unique items at the event, but also maybe come up with a second catalog that is completely pure and separate from the items that are sold in person, meaning that the items that are sold on the website, maybe they have a unique San Diego Comic-Con online sticker. I don't know if they're allowed to put the San Diego Comic-Con logo if the item is technically not sold at San Diego Comic-Con. I've seen other companies do that, but they're typically smaller companies that probably get away with that. What I'm talking about with Funko being a massive company that always has a presence at San Diego Comic-Con, I'm sure there's all kinds of restrictions and contracts when it comes to using that specific San Diego Comic-Con logo. So maybe they need to look into, instead of having a catalog of 34, 36 items, they say, hey, we have a catalog of 40 items, but 20 of the items you can only get in person, and 20 of the items you can only get online. And this would cause traffic to both avenues. This would cause more people to try to go to San Diego Comic-Con in person if that catalog of 20 items has something that they really need for their collection, or they think is going to be really valuable in the aftermarket, so they're going to go try to get it and flip it and make some money. Because whether you like that or don't like that, that is a huge part of these events and Comic-Cons. Some people make a living off of it now. And then on the flip side, you have your online catalog where everybody just gets to stay at home, go on the drop, and get whatever they want. But those items are still exciting and special and unique because they are only being sold on Funko's website. And that's, you know, like I said, you give it that unique sticker, they could really come up, you know, with something creative there. But I think this is something that Funko really needs to look into, just to add a new spark of hype, some fresh excitement into their con catalog. And maybe this is something that other companies are doing, and it's just something that I don't know about, I'm not aware of. But let me know your thoughts on how Funko did as a company for San Diego Comic-Con. If you were at San Diego Comic-Con, I would love to hear your thoughts. If you didn't go to San Diego Comic-Con and you were just here for the drop, let me know your thoughts as well. And I'd also like feedback on what you guys think of having two distinct, unique, separate catalogs for in-person and online for Comic-Con drops for Funko. Now, since today is Monday, it's time for our weekly Monday Motivation segment. Every single week, we like to bring you guys a small piece of Monday Motivation to help kickstart your week and get you through the toughest day of the week, which is typically Monday for a lot of people, especially those people who went to San Diego Comic-Con over the weekend. And I know some of you guys had to travel back home yesterday so you could get back to work today. And for those of you guys, coffee it up, get some caffeine. I feel for you, but you know, hopefully the day will go by quick and you can get some much needed rest at your earliest opportunity. But I saw another thing happen over the last few days that I really feel like needs to be addressed. And here in the collecting community, there's a lot of companies now. It's not just 3 or 4 major companies producing collectibles. Ever since post-pandemic, we've seen all different types of companies pop up in the collecting realm, and they're really trying to take advantage of us as the collectors by luring us in with either limited pieces or characters we love, or just unique, fun items that we can buy. Because at the end of the day, it's all about money. I saw something these last few days that I really did not like, and I thought it was just something that we don't need here in our community. Our channel, for the most part, has always been positive, always been family friendly, and always been welcoming to everybody that comes and watches any of our videos or content. What I saw was really sickening, because I understand that there might be some people who want to go out and collect something from one of these new companies. For instance, the 2 main companies that popped up, at least in our circle or in our realm of collecting over the last year, is Rakuten and Thrilljoy. And for those of you guys who want to go out and collect Rakuten and Thrilljoy items, I want you to. I want you to enjoy those items. If you are collecting Labubus, if you're collecting Pokemon and it makes you happy, then go collect it and enjoy it, because that's the whole point of collecting. It's supposed to make you happy. What I saw over the last couple days is something that just can't be tolerated, and people who are here in the community should not have to be subject to it. And that is shaming other people for what they are deciding to collect. And that's why for today's Monday Motivation, I always talk about how we need to respect one another and, you know, just treat each other well, because there's plenty of opportunities elsewhere in life where people are not going to treat you well. They're not going to respect you. So I think we need to make it a priority here in a community where we're having fun, that we respect other people. But I think we need to take it a step further, and it needs to be addressed. We need to respect what we choose to collect. Like I mentioned, a couple different things: Pokemon, Rakimoto, Thrilljoy, Labubu, Lego, Hot Toys, NECA action figures, Super 7, whatever it is you collect, if it makes you happy, I'm so excited. No one has the right to shame another individual for what they collect, or tell somebody else that they should not collect that other item because it's trash or it's garbage or it's bad. Just because you choose not to collect something or you don't want to collect something doesn't mean you have the right to tell anybody else how to collect. And this is something that I unfortunately saw happening quite a bit over the weekend. I was cruising through a lot of Whatnot streams. I heard it from a lot of resellers. I heard it from people in the community on Instagram and stuff. And I think there's no place for it. And ultimately, at the end of the day, we need to respect each other and respect what we choose to collect. And if there's companies out there who are condoning this type of behavior, this mindset, this overall mentality, like, no, our brand is superior and you must collect what we sell, and you must go out and tell people that if they don't collect our brand, that they are doing it wrong, that they are collecting incorrectly. There's no such thing as collecting incorrectly. At the end of the day, you get to decide how you live your life, what you choose to buy, and what you choose to collect. And if there's anybody out there who is purposely shaming other people for what they collect, there is just no tolerance, there's no patience, and there's no room in this community where that should be allowed. So I was really disappointed based on what I saw, and I'm not here to call anybody out. I'm not here to point fingers or name names or anything. That's not what this is about. This is about just bringing awareness to this issue so that if you are somebody who's had any of this come your way, to ignore those people, move away from those people. I saw it on our own comment section this past Friday when I released a video about the new Star Wars Pops, and several people were super negative and told me that I shouldn't be collecting Star Wars because they don't agree with how Disney has handled Star Wars and some of the recent projects we've gotten in the last few years. Listen, I don't like everything that Star Wars has put out over the last few years, but Star Wars as a whole is something that is very special to me. The characters and stories mean a lot to me, and I'm going to collect Star Wars Funko Pops of the characters that make me happy. And I did not make the video saying, hey, you should go out and collect these Star Wars Pops because they're amazing, and if you don't collect them, then you're stupid. That's not what I said at all. I was excited for these new and upcoming Pops, as in a lot of other people did share in my excitement, but there is no room in this community for telling other people how to live their life and how to curate their collection based on how they want to collect and what type of items they want to collect. So just wanted to put that out there because unfortunately I think it needed to be said. I saw it way too much, and I really hope it's something that maybe just spawned out of stuff that was happening at San Diego Comic-Con, and it won't be something that continues as a trend down the road. But that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Overall, we have an amazing community. I think everybody is super positive, and at the end of the day, we should all be having fun. If you're not having fun, then I think you need to change it up a little bit, do something different, revisit why you're a little bit frustrated or sad or angry, whatever it may be. We all go through ups and downs, but at the end of the day, collecting should be fun and it should make you happy. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and as always, don't stop shooting until you score.